The Steelers have signed safety Jalen Elliott in NFL free agency. I'm going to let you know what that means for the Steelers defense and what it means for this week's preseason game against the Buccaneers in just a second here. But first, do me a favor, click that subscribe button because this is why you subscribe. Every time the Steelers make a signing, every time they make a move, we are going to have you covered with a video for you for free here on the channel. So if you never want to miss a single bit of Steelers breaking news throughout the year, go ahead, click that subscribe button and turn on your notifications. Now let's talk a little bit about Jalen Elliott, who did not play in the regular season last year. He kind of bounced around between the New England Patriots and the Las Vegas Raiders last year on their practice squads. But in 2021, went undrafted out of the University of Notre Dame, played in the Senior Bowl, so he's a pretty decent player. He made the final roster for the Detroit Lions back in 2021, played in 8 games, and had a start at strong safety, actually, that year against the Steelers at Heinz Field, or at least then Heinz Field. And he ended up getting 12 tackles during the 2021 campaign. Now he is joining the Steelers in the middle of training camp, just days away from the first preseason game this Friday against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In another move here to make this work, to make it go back to 90, they have also released Jamarcus Bradley, the wide receiver, or waived, I should say, because of an injury. He's dealing with a hamstring issue that's apparently pretty serious. So they're waiving him right now, and if he clears waivers, and I expect him to, I definitely expect the Steelers to bring him back and put him on their injury reserve for the season. But I'm looking at this thing, man, and I think that Jalen Elliott is a pretty decent player, and it's a pretty decent signing. But let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section by grading this signing for me down in the comments. Give me an A, a B, a C, a D, or an F. And this is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. So YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. Take advantage of that time by grading today's signing. For me, guys, I'm going to give it a C. I don't think it's like an amazing signing. We've definitely seen bigger signings from Omar Kahn, the Steelers GM, this offseason. But for me, I'm going to give it a C because I think it's a fine addition. I think that Jalen Elliott is somebody that you can maybe trust on the field, somebody that's had a little bit of experience in this league. But he's not going to be somebody that's going to be like a for sure make the roster kind of guy. He has an uphill battle ahead of him here, in my opinion, because I really like this safety room already. I think that Minkah Fitzpatrick is arguably the best free safety in the National Football League. And then you got Damontae Kazee and Keanu Neal as your presumptive starters there at the strong safety. It looks like those guys are going to be rotating quite a bit this year. And then also Trey Norwood, Kenny Robinson, Miles Killebrew. Those guys have been playing very well in camp already. A lot of those guys have already gotten first-team reps because of Damontae Kazee and Keanu Neal and Minkah Fitzpatrick all missing time during training camp. So they've had time with the first-team defense, and they've looked pretty darn good. So I really like the depth here as well. You bring in Thompson earlier this week, and then now you're bringing in Elliott as well, and he's presumed to be at the bottom of the depth chart heading into this week's game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And because of the depth here at the safety position, I think Elliott has definitely an uphill battle in order to make the final 53-man roster. So that's why I'm going to give this signing a C for me personally, because I like Jalen Elliott. I think he's a pretty decent player. I think that, you know, in the preseason action, you can trust him to not give up like a 40-yard pass. He's somebody that's played a little bit in this league. Apparently, he's done well enough to stick around throughout the first couple years of his career. But because you have Minkah Fitzpatrick, because you have two really good strong safety candidates there, and Damontae Kazee and Keanu Neal, because you have the really good depth with Trey Norwood and Kenny Robinson and Miles Killebrew, you got all these guys in there already. It's definitely going to be tough for Jalen Elliott to make a name for himself, especially because he's coming in the middle of camp. Now I'm going to tell you what this signing means for the preseason game and whether Elliott will play this week versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here in just a sec. But first, check out our friends here at BetUS. If you love sports betting like I do, this is going to be the perfect situation for you heading into the 2023 NFL season. Go ahead and use Steelers125 at the promo code at chatsports.com/bet to get a 125% deposit bonus. Now, what does that mean? If you put a deposit in from $100 to $600, they're going to give 125% of that money back to you to use on your bet. So if you put in $100, they give you $125 additional dollars to use on your bets. And why not use it on the preseason game this weekend versus the Buccaneers, which, it's preseason. Let's have a little fun with the sports betting, guys, right? The total over-under for the game is going to be 39 points. I think I'm going to actually smash the over on that. I think it's going to be pretty high scoring, to be honest with you. I think that with Kyle Trask and Baker Mayfield kind of battling it out this weekend, I think that they're going to be trying to score as many points as possible. So I would probably go with the over there if I were the one betting. And then right now it is pick 'em because it is preseason. But right now the favorite technically is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because they got the tiebreaker technically because they are home. But it is pick 'em. So I'm definitely going to be betting for the Steelers this weekend. I'm going to be trying to make some money this weekend here on Friday. I'm really excited about that. So go to chatsports.com/bet and use promo code Steelers125 if you want to get that 125% deposit bonus today. Now let's talk a little bit about whether or not Jalen Elliott, fresh off, the waiver wire here, fresh coming into the team, is going to end up playing this weekend versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I think that he will. I think that he's probably going to get in there late in the game, right? He's just learning the playbook. He's just learning the defense. So I don't expect them to kind of throw him out there with like the second team defense, right? I really don't expect him to play until pretty much later in the game. And it's very possible he ends up not playing whatsoever. Maybe they feel like, let's give him a week to learn the playbook. Let's not throw him out there here week one. That's certainly possible, but I think that towards later in the game when all the backups, all the reserves are playing, it wouldn't shock me whatsoever to see Jalen get a couple of reps there in the fourth quarter, see what he can do, see if he can make a first impression here in the first game of the preseason. And, if I were Jalen, I would want to get out there. I would want every single opportunity to prove my worth to this team, right? If I'm sitting out an entire preseason game, and right now there's only 3 preseason games, right, because of the new rule here where it used to be 4, now it's just 3. Your opportunities to prove your worth in the National Football League during the preseason are very limited, and for Jalen to miss an entire game, I think that's going to be an opportunity he's not going to want to miss. So he's going to be coming in today. He's going to be doing everything he possibly can to learn enough of the playbook to play on Friday. And listen, it's preseason, so the defense, they're not going to be playing like their normal stuff. There's not going to be a lot of rotating coverages. There's not going to be a lot of exotic blitzes. It's going to be a lot of country cover 3, country cover 2, right? Straight man-to-man, right? It's going to be very basic stuff that the Steelers are running on Friday night. So I don't think there's going to be too much of the learning aspect that's going to need to be done here in order for Jalen to get ready. There might be some verbiage kind of things that he needs to get down, but I think that that's stuff that he can get down here in the next couple of days, and I think that he will play Friday. It'll probably be later in the game because he is lower on the depth chart right now, but I'm very excited to see what he can do here with the black and gold moving forward. Speaking of that game against the Buccaneers, we are going to be having a live watch party here on the channel. So if you want to kick it with your boys and your gals, your fellow Yinzers here on the channel, you want a spot where we're going to be going live for every single preseason game, every single regular season game. If you want that one spot to kick it with the Yinzers here this season on YouTube for free, go ahead, click that subscribe button and turn on your notifications because we're going to be doing those live watch parties every week. And then, of course, tomorrow is the Steelers Talk live show, our weekly live show on Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you want to hang out with us and get ready for that game, you can also check that out tomorrow. We're also expecting to put out another video today on the channel, so make sure you watch out for that. Turn on your notifications for that. But also, if you want my takeaways from Steelers practice, they had a day off yesterday. They are back in Latrobe. They are back practicing today. If you want my takeaways from today's practice, clips from practice, highlights, all these different things, I put that on my Steelers dedicated Twitter page. You can go find me on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it now, at Sperry_Yins. Guys, really do appreciate all the support. I will see you guys later today. Peace.